And we are live on Unfiltered. Yes, we are live, William, on Unfiltered. We are live on Unfiltered. The State of Origin is over and we return our focus to the regular NRL. Last weekend saw a number of major events. Cameron Smith's 400th game, 400 games, that's ridiculous. Garth Brennan has been given the arse. We'll be discussing that. We'll be talking about what's going to happen for the rest of the season, and maybe I'll talk about how bad Creed 2 is. I saw it on the weekend, massive disappointment. Let's first of all talk about Cameron Smith. Now, Cameron Smith played his 400th game of NRL. I think he's played about 6,000 games all up, if you include Origin and Tests. I'm sure Faxman will be able to tell us how many. First of all, congratulations. Second of all, William, there's a lot of criticism about Cameron Smith. I find it bizarre that he's getting any criticism at all.
I don't get it. I've seen you in a few Twitter battles on the weekend. I had to back you up.
You did, thank you.
Yeah, I don't understand that the amount of bullshit that comes with Cameron Smith, because I think it's a bit of tall poppy syndrome. He's very successful. He's playing over 8 or 9 final series, 400 games, 50 plus tests, 40 plus origins, 13 or 14 origin series wins.
Stats man.
Yeah, but that's just off the top. It's not even the exact.
No.
You know, like it's just what he's done, and I think how he portrayed himself on the field. People get it a little bit twisted because it's the way he talks to the ref. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he doesn't disrespect the ref. He doesn't come at him like 100 mile an hour. He plays the game fair and right to the edge of the game. Like the rules, he plays to the nth degree. And I don't think a lot of people like that. And they don't like the fact that he's a Queenslander. And they don't like the fact that he's played so many games and he's such a successful player. It's just tall poppy syndrome. I don't understand it because he should be held. I mean, he's a living immortal right now.
There's no
I don't
stink
understand
around
where
him.
it is. He's never been in a fight.
He's never been, if
He's
I
not
could
a
liken
grub.
it to anything, he gets called a grub all the time. If I could liken
He's
it to
not
anyone.
a grub. The grubs I've played with, they do a lot of things like stand on your hands, grab, your nuts and all these kind of stuff. I mean, and most of those guys are my mates.
Yeah.
So, like, playing against Smitty,
Grubs.
Yeah, playing against Smitty for, like, I think, 14 years I played against him. It was nothing but a fair player. He plays within the rules. He was never the biggest hitter. He wasn't a dominant runner, but he just knows the game so well. He times things to perfection. People that play with him think he's the greatest ever.
Yeah.
Already. So let's just put him up the top right now.
If I could
3.
liken it to anyone in sport it's Richie McCaw. Now, Richie McCaw played the game hard. He played at the very edge of it. He was offside and breakdowns. Richie McCaw, everyone loves. Cameron Smith does the same thing. He influences referees. That's his job. He's a captain.
Yeah.
He doesn't do anything really that's that's noticeabably grubby on the field.
I was a bit surprised about what was happening on social media. Saying, no, he's a grub, he's this and that. And I was like, I don't get it. Unless you know the guy and unless you played against him, which I have, I don't think he's a grub. He's far from it. I played with a lot of grubs. I played against a lot of grubs. So that's just people they just can't let him have everything. He's done every single thing in the game. People just get jealous.
Will anyone play 400?
No, I don't see it happening. I think Cooper Cronk's he's chasing him. I think he's on about 370-ish. But
he's retiring.
He's playing another year, Cameron.
Yeah.
So Coop's going to retire, and both them guys have played so much together, and they're going to go down as one of the greats. Just simply off longevity, they deserve that. But just the amount of games that Cameron Smith has played, it's ridiculous, and the level that he's played at, he can play Origin right now and play Test football right now.
Easy.
There's a couple of blokes that you go, let's just say Cooper Cronk and JT at the back end of their career. Maybe it was time for him to give it up. But as a number 9, no one's testing him. I think Damien Cook would probably grab him right now. I think Cookie he's gone to a new level because when Damien Cook come on the scene, he was quick. And the Bulldogs never seen that. They put Leisha in front of him. Now Damien Cook's the best hooker in the game. He slowed the game down. He broke it down. He was obviously watching video of Cameron Smith, Danny Badiris, and he's sort of halfway between that. He's tough. He plays the ball, plays the game nice and slow because he used to play flat out. Now he's taking a leaf out of Cameron Smith's book. Cameron Smith plays the game at his pace. Yeah. It's hard to go against him, man. I used to love playing against Smitty because if you beat him, you'd have to play your best football. So we had a couple of really good battles there, New South Wales and even Melbourne against the Bulldogs and against other clubs that I was playing for. So he was like, he's top 3. I mean, you see some great players like Andrew Johns, Gordon Tallis. They're saying he's the best player ever already. He's still playing. So these guys, you know, to come from Andrew Johns, who's plays for New South Wales, and I rate Andrew Johns the greatest player of all time. I think Cameron Smith's second.
Well, congratulations to Cameron Smith.
I can't say enough about Smitty. Yeah. I take the piss out of him on social media. He never takes himself seriously. I was his first roommate in the Australian side, so I showed him the ropes about how to be a leader and all that kind of stuff.
And if he didn't come out of that being a grub,
he'd come out the other end.
Survived.
And he is one of the greatest people and greatest player to play our game. So we should be putting him up here, but tall poppy syndrome bullshit. Let's just try and put him down. But no, he's going to be up here.
Congratulations on a long career. Someone who has not had a long career, Garth Brennan. He has coached for about a season and a half. He has lost the dressing room, the old cliche of losing the dressing room. Mate, how do you lose a dressing room in a year and a half?
I mean, with these, having a team like the Titans who haven't been successful, haven't made the finals since 2010. So 2009, 10, I think 8, 9, 10, they were top 4. They had a really good coach back then. And then ever since then, they've just fallen off. And it seems like a bit of a graveyard to go to because you just go there, like Kevin Proctor, one of the best back rowers in the game, goes up there. Just an average back row. But I think that's a product of Melbourne being so successful. You never leave that nest. But Brennan, he was a Newcastle coach. I've known him for years, and he probably he deserved it. But the playing group is so fickle these days, and these young kids, and if you don't get to them and they don't want to play for you, you'll lose the group in the off season. You know, like the young kid, the 7. Ash Taylor. Like he's gone from $1 million next big thing.
Well, I reckon they don't get on.
Should have been pushing for an Origin spot this year. He should be in reserve grade, and he's been playing so bad mentally. He's not there, and that is up to a first grade coach because your first grade coach can't teach you the X's and O's and everything like. It's all about man management. You've got to manage this poor kid. He's 20 years old. He's got the world at his feet, but he doesn't reach his potential. Like there's obviously all the onus is on the young fella, but he needs his coach to nurture him. And just I don't know, he just needs to be like more of a mentor, and because the young kid's going to do a lot of things like individually as a player. He can play, but he needs a coach there that is going to get him along the way and help him in these stepping stones. And when you do get job, have some resilience and come back and be better and stronger. So a lot of players, you know, he lost a lot of the group. So I heard whispers about 8 weeks ago that the players are off him. And this day and age, mate, if you're not Wayne Bennett and if you're not Craig Bellamy and Ricky Stewart, the blokes that keep turning out players and turning out premierships and all that, you're gone. Like this is the coaching carousel, mate. It's very fickle. If you don't win, you're done.
The one thing I found interesting,
they'll blame the coaches, never ever the players.
So Garth Brennan coached lower grades at Penrith.
Yeah.
Tyrone Peachey is a Penrith player. Yeah. Massive signing this year. Goes up there. There's rumours he doesn't want to go there in the first place before he's even signed. Goes from New South Wales Origin last year. Now he hates it up there. Can't cop Garth Brennan. Like, one of the reasons he probably went up there in the first place was Garth Brennan. Yeah. What happens? He didn't invite him to a barbecue.
Sometimes the coaches that coach in reserve grade and coach assistant coaches, they're the best blokes in the world. They're always there, you know, because there's no pressure on that. Yeah. There's no pressure on the assistant coach. Yeah. You know, all they've got the hardest job. They do the attack, they do the defence. They're always your best mate. They try and teach you all this kind of stuff. But they never cop the fall when you get to first grade coach. Yeah. You know, that's why guys like, you know, Craig Bellamy, Wayne Bennett, they had the best assistant coaches. Yeah. The best ones, because that first grade coach, he's a man manager. You want to play for Craig Bellamy, you want to play for Ricky Stewart, but they've got all these people, all the coaches around them that know everything. So when you have a step from being an assistant coach to first grade coach, I've seen so many turn into pricks. And obviously, I'm not saying he's turned into a prick, but he's obviously changed. Neil Henry was the best assistant coach, I reckon. As soon as he went into like the first grade mold, everyone thought he changed. Yeah. Starts doing different things. Starts saying different things that he was telling you when he was assistant coach. So it's a lot of players get shocked at it. They're like, man, you're telling me this last year when you're assistant coach, I could be this, and this. You get the first grade coach, everything changes. So there's a lot of outside pressure. It's the worst thing going from assistant coach straight into a head coach. It is hard, and especially if you're not gonna go and take on, like, just say Craig Bellamy goes and you go into the Melbourne Storm first grade coach, you'll be set. That culture's already set. There is no culture up the Titans.
One thing, I was always very disappointed that the only club in the NRL that didn't offer you a contract was the Titans, because I would have loved for you to play on the Gold Coast. That would have been some good away trips for me.
It just a funny thing. Like when I finished playing in '97, Super League, they were going to amalgamate with the Gold Coast Seagulls at that time. So we're going to take 5 of Newcastle's best juniors, and it was myself,
Hunter Mariners days.
Brett Finch, myself, Ryan O'Hara, Michael Hodgson, and Julian. I forget his last name.
Good on you, Jules.
No, but he played first grade for the Roosters and that. So they were going to take all that. We were 17 years old. Imagine getting thrown up to that at 17 years old. They were giving us a shitload of money just to sit in.
Your career was finished
well,
in 1998 on the Gold Coast.
I'm glad it didn't happen, but I was just thinking, because we were sitting there when all the teams, obviously the Gold Coast got brushed, Mariners got brushed, and then I ended up being at the Bulldogs. Probably the best thing that happened to me. But yeah,
do you reckon the Titans are gone?
It's all performance based. The NRL own them. It's not. Searle sort of stuffed all that sort of stuff up, and they're at the NRL's beckon now, and they need to perform. So I think at the moment now, it's very important who comes in and who's the caretaker coach. I'm not sure who it's going to be. I would love to see the Walker brothers come in.
Yeah, you said that.
Yeah, I've been tweeting it, and I just think it's time for a change. I mean, unless every single team, every single team plays exactly the same. It's all about execution. The Walker brothers play a different sort of style. And everyone's like, oh, it's not going to happen. It happens in Intrust Super Cup. Of course they're going to change a little bit. They're not going to do everything that they did in Intrust Super Cup, but they're going to be playing with better players. So their skill level's going to go up.
Not at the Titans.
But the Titans have got their team.
They've got a good side.
The side is good. They don't want to play for the coach.
Yeah.
It always happens. It happens so many times when the assistant coach goes around about this time, and then the Titans are bound to win. The last 7 from 8, and they look like fucking world beaters. So hopefully they can at least give the Walker brothers a crack, and not go with your Jeff Toohey's, the people that have been there and they've already done it, and Kevy Walters and all these players that are their sort of name, and go with someone else, and give them 8 games and see what they can do. Yeah. And if they don't perform, all right, they'll go back to the Intrust Super Cup. At least they get a shot at it. Yeah. Give them a shot. Like everyone's like, oh, it's not going to work. Like fuck. Give him a shot. Like at least give him.
They've got nothing to lose this year.
They've got nothing to lose. They're playing with house money.
Speaking of coaches, I've got a question in from Chris Burnett. Hello, Chris. Thanks for tuning in. He wants to know what the go with Paul Green is. I know you've been.
Well, he's another one that I've heard like a couple of years ago that.
You said it a year or so ago.
But yeah, 2 years when JT was still playing. He lost the playing group. It says it in JT's book. How do you lose Kalen Ponga? He didn't want to go anywhere.
Yeah.
I got great. I'm not going to put anyone in, but I know that it was a simple fact that. The conversations that he had with Paul Green made him leave. So obviously he's the next best thing in the NRL, and I know for a fact that he left because of the coach.
Yeah.
So obviously he's not doing the right thing up there. They're underachieving. They've got 4 or 5, 6 internationals and Origin players, and they're not even in the top 8.
Well, Chris raised a good point, saying that Ethan Lowe was playing reserve up there, and now he's come out another genius.
Plays a great Origin. So obviously something's wrong when you see players leave. There's something wrong with the coach.
Yeah.
JT's obviously left a great legacy up there, but he's gone. Michael Morgan's been injured a fair bit. Matt Scott's been injured. Tal Malolo, he can't carry all that weight.
No.
But, just losing Ponga was massive. I don't think...
They beat the Roosters.
I don't think they realise how big a loss that is.
Yeah. Michael Morgan. I said he'd have a good year this year, and he's
still having a good year, but he's been
concussed every 6 weeks.
They lost Nene McDonald. They lost a lot of their backs. But they just, it just seems that they've been losing those games where they should win. And, maybe it's time for a change up there.
Well, one of the good news stories that has come out of this weekend is that the NRL have appointed their first ever female referee. Her name is Belinda Sharp, and congratulations to Belinda. Again, there's been a little bit of controversy over that. Everyone needs to shut up.
I don't understand that.
It's great.
It's the society's all about Me Too and equality and all this kind of stuff, and I'm all for that. I think if she's obviously good enough to referee. First grade. So if you're good enough, I don't give a fuck if you're a male or female. If you're good enough to referee at an NRL level, get the job. Yeah. So congratulations, Belinda. I hope you do well this week. And she's going to have a lot of support out there. A lot of the women will be supporting her, and a lot of the men. I don't understand why people are going to think that women can't referee a game.
The refs have been shit anyway.
Refs are shit.
She can't,
I mean,
she
like,
can't be
do
any worse.
I mean, no, I'm only joking. I love most of the refs, but you know, it's been a long time coming. You know, it's been a long time coming, and it is about time. So, you know, good luck to her. There's a lot of pressure, but I'm sure she's gonna live up to it. It's not that hard.
No, refereeing is, you know.
You just go to the bunker and they'll fuck it up anyway.
If you've got eyes, terrific. You can do it. Now, the top 8 there's a lot of congestion around the bottom, and there's 8 games to go. The top 4 has just come out a little bit now. Do you think the top 4, as it stands now, will be the top 4 at the end of the year?
Well, I mean, I know Melbourne's going to finish minor premiers, but have a look. Like, you know, Souths are on 24, Canberra 22, Roosters 22. That's our top 4, and then the Eagles and Eels are on 20, Knights and Panthers are on 18.
How's Manly?
Manly's been unreal. They only just got beat by Reynolds in that drop kick in the last 4 minutes. So I can't see why the Eels and the Eagles can't be thinking, you know, we're going to finish top 4, and how it is so important to finish top 4 now with the different rules. So, you know, and even like the Sharks, you know, they've been unlucky. The Cowboys are on 16, so are the Tigers, the Bronx and Warriors. You know, the only people that are really out are the Bulldogs and the Titans.
Is that how you've gone there? You've gone down that way, and then we've gone here, and then we've gone up.
I understand it. You don't have to understand it.
No, I understand it. That's my problem.
But that's I think, you know, the Knights, you know, the couple, you know, if they can get 6 from 8, a lot of them will be thinking 6 from 8 they can possibly win. So it's going to be real tight. I think Melbourne is safe. That's the only team. I think Souths are still in danger. I mean, because you think the Roosters, they're going to come home with a wet sail. They get Boyd Cordner back and Teddy, arguably the best player in the world. Latrell's back to his best. You know, they got Friendy back. You've got Luke Keary back.
Yeah,
they've got a gun team.
Good
I mean,
side.
Hargraves is going to miss a couple of weeks off a bullshit run. That was a dominant run. He ran straight over Maguire, and then Maguire probably should have moved. That's what I think. I just think that's a dominant run, and he's getting suspended for that. You know, like, fuck. I said, what do you? He's like, Maguire would do exactly the same to him.
Yeah.
Exactly the same. That's why, you know, Maguire's a tough prick, man. Like, he doesn't care. He didn't say anything because Maguire would do exactly the same to him. Hargraves, dominant run. I'm pretty sure he could have moved his head a little bit to the side, but he's just a fucking tough prick.
Yeah.
And he wanted to assert his dominance. You're going to take this away from the front rows. You can't.
I don't understand. Like, he's going to get 2 weeks for that, right?
That's bullshit.
Now, Nick Kotrick got sent off, and I'm not saying Nick Kotrick did it on purpose, but, mate, it was a bad look. That was a bad look. He's dumped the bloke on his head. He gets 3 weeks.
Yeah, I know.
So how does Kotrick get one more week than a bloke?
Hargraves has possibly the worst history in the judiciary.
In the history of the judiciary,
possibly. Yeah. But like Kotrick, it was so bad because he picked him up and momentum was going so much that way, and it's hard to let go. Yeah. You know, it's hard to let go while he's up there, and he thinks he's going to put him on his back. He's already coming over momentum. And it looked terrible. Yeah, it looked terrible. Kotrick didn't deserve to get sent off. I've seen a lot worse. Some dirty things like knee and lodge in the head a couple of weeks ago. That's foul play. You meant to knee him in the fucking head. So just, you get off. That's a send-off. You know what I mean? Like, some dirty plays to send off. But that, like,
what about the kung fu though? After that, that was good.
Yeah, just sweep the leg, Johnny.
Sweep the leg.
Put him in a body bag. But like Kotrick, there was no like malice in it. I'm all for, like, you know, just be like, just by the eyeball test. If it looked dangerous and there was malice and intent, if you wanted to drop him on his head, send him off.
But when you're playing, he's lifted him on purpose. There's no question.
But I think
you've just got to get to a point. I think you don't lift anyone.
when he was running at him, I think he thought he could lift him and drive him back.
Yeah.
I'm not sure who did he spear tackle.
Tim Laffey.
Tim Laffey's a big, strong bloke. He's about 105 kilo. Yeah. So he's momentum coming off his left foot, and he comes off his left foot all the time. So Kotrick thought he could drive through him, put him back, didn't. So your momentum's gone back, and he still goes like that. So it's a bit of common sense when you look at that as a referee, and when he gets suspended, it's like, mate, there's no real malice in it, but it looked bad for the game. He's just going to have to wear it.
Yeah, he's going to wear it. Well, he did. He's not trying to fight it.
Yeah, exactly. He's not going to try and fight it. He gets 3 weeks just to sort of, you know, to rest up. I think he sort of come back a little bit early from his injury, so it'll give him, you know, always take a positive out of a negative. He can sit back, get fit, get his ankle right, and he can get back on a roll and get the Raiders back in there.
Before I give myself epilepsy looking at that for too much longer, what is your top 4? End of the year, top 4. We've got 8 weeks out, and I'll remember this.
I think the Eagles might slide in.
Really?
Yeah, I just think so. I I reckon Canberra might drop out. They haven't been that consistent. I know they dusted up St George.
Everyone dusts up St George.
Yeah, but like St George has still got a great side. Like Mary come out on the weekend and said we can still win the comp.
What's he gonna say?
Well, we can still make the 8. How about getting to the 8?
Don't. I want to coach the Gold Coast.
Do you know what I mean? Like I think the Eels might. The Knights are still going to push. I think the Knights can finish the year with Ponga coming back and get all their Origin players coming back, and they're going to really start. You know, the Panthers. I think they might finish about 7th, but I think the Knights might slide in. Knights and Eels might slide in for Canberra and maybe the Chooks.
You're saying Roosters out of the top 4?
Maybe, yeah. 'Cause, I mean, I just think
it's a big call, William.
it is a big call, or maybe Canberra. I'm not sure.
Well, you have to be sure because I'm asking you who
All
are
right.
going to
Well,
be
I think
the
the
top
Knights
4.
are going to slide into the top 4 for Canberra.
Okay. So Melbourne South,
Melbourne
South, Knights, Roosters. Okay.
That's my 4.
I'm going Melbourne Roosters.
Not in that
South-
particular order either.
No, it's got to be order.
Well, no.
No, it doesn't.
Melbourne's
just
just
top
the
4.
first.
So I'm going to go Melbourne Roosters, Canberra, and I think that I like the Knights, but you've said it, so I'm going to go the Eels.
All right. I think
Actually,
Eels
no, I'm going
mentioned-
Canberra. I'm
yeah.
saying the top 4 stays
Okay.
the same. You heard it here
I
first.
think Canberra. I think they've been consistent, but 16. I think they were 22-0 against Cronulla, 16-0 against Parramatta, and they blew those leads, and then they come out and blew the Knights. St George away, but they'll have some players backing up. They weren't up at their best, so Canberra didn't have many people backing up.
After the least decisive decision-making process of who's going to be in the top 4, we are now going
Fucking
to
hard,
move
man.
on.
It is so hard to make the top 4, and I know
It's a
that
close
there's 8 games
comp.
to go. 8 games to go. They're so important. It's even for the Panthers, Sharks, and Cowboys and Tigers because mathematically they can still make it.
I'm moving on, William. We're
I
moving
don't
on to the
never
games.
move on.
You know, I know. You just interrupt me rudely.
No.
We are moving on to round 17. The previews that we do are always spot on
Give me a look
and
at
more
that.
decisive.
I've really looked at
The Broncos, who are making a late season resurgence, are playing against the Bulldogs. Broncos win that.
Oh, I think so. I think Payne Haas.
How good's Milford?
Milford's
He's back
killing
at
it.
1.
I think, Fafita, when the try that he scored, that was brilliant. Their forward pack, there's no doubt about their forward
No.
pack. It's everything else.
It's everything else.
Everything else, I think they do.
They got a hard-
the
they
Dogs
got a-
played some pretty good football
They
against
got,
the Knights.
they got literally a fullback and a hooker at 7
They
and
can
6.
get Darius Boyd on the same page and
As what?
leading that side.
Yeah.
They can do anything. They have talent coming out their arse, but they look at Darius Boyd. He's their captain, so he holds a lot of energy in that side and leadership. He is the captain, so he's got
And
a
he's
big,
a great at the
big
game.
job.
Yeah, he does.
He's got a big job. But I think the Bronx get. I think Bronx. They're on 15 points, so they need to win this. They don't win this game, they're done.
Yeah, they're done.
Done.
Calling it.
Yeah.
All right. New Zealand up against the Sharks. This game will be interesting because Sean Johnson will be playing against his old club, although he may not because they reckon he left in a moon boot, but he's been named. The Warriors are coming off a draw.
Yeah.
Nice to see the draw, actually.
It
in the
sucks.
Golden Point.
Oh, they need to do something about that. You bust your balls for 80
I
minutes
like
and
it.
then 90 minutes and
I
then
like
no one wins. It sucks. Trust me, from a person who's been in it, it sucks.
No,
Change
but
the
it's
rules.
good because change the
Well,
rules.
it does change it up a little bit.
Two sides.
Yeah, well, the Warriors
They
have
both
rocked
had a
on
chance.
15.
They both had a chance to win, and they didn't.
sucks
So they both. Well, I'm not,
If you get in by 1 point, yes, thank God for Golden Point.
if you get beat, it's terrible. I think New Zealand will win that just because the Sharks have got 0 players left through injury.
Yeah, I think the Sharks they annoy the shit out of sides. They've still got that side where they can make some noise. They need that win.
What about
very
the-
important? I think they got more to play for the Warriors. They got more to play for than the Warriors.
What about all the shit Josh Dugan's been wearing now with people saying that he doesn't play the full season and he's got to retire? And that's
He's
a bit
only
much.
missed 1 game
It's
this
a bit
year.
much,
He
isn't
missed
it?
1 game this year, and he's come off with injury at a hamstring when he shouldn't even have played. So he's been toughing it out all year. I think Gordy was hammering him saying he's always seems to be down, but he's down. Last year he played 12 games because he was injured most of the year. This year he's only missed 1 game. So
Are you
I
sure?
don't-
I want to fact check that.
I
I
don't
think
fact check, but I'm pretty sure I'm
I
right.
think he's missed at least 3
He's missed 1 game this year.
that
He
you've
might have
seen.
come off a couple of times, but he's only missed 1. He's been toughing it out all year. He's had a few Warriors off field he's been dealing with, but he's been playing the game tough. And I think if you go on stats and everything, he's in the top 4 centres in the comp if you just on analytics. So like his game is I think John Morris come out and backed him up and just threw out all these stats that I was reading today. So I'm not wrong.
You're reading all the stats. The Panthers, who I have been bagging all year and now have won 6 in a row because I'm a genius, are playing against St George. And as much as it pains me to say this, with Cleary back, I think probably the Panthers will win this game. And that'll probably cement them in the 8.
I'm going to go with St George. I think St George have got too much to play for. I'm just looking at these games now. I'm thinking how much character that team actually has. St George has got some big name players. You know, they've got Vaughan, they've got Tarek Sims.
You've left the Dragons off that completely.
Yeah, but
where are they?
I know they're on there. So
but
I don't
where
know.
are they?
I think they're around about here on 16.
They're on 16.
Or maybe 14.
Okay.
Yeah, I just think they've got a lot to play for. More to play for than the Panthers. I know the Panthers have been going pretty good, but and they're at home at the foot of the mountains, where it's going to be fucking freezing on a Saturday night. But St George can win that. I just think they've got some big name players. Ben Hunt needs to stand up. Frizzell. Yeah, I think they'll get him.
Roosters versus the Knights. Now, Joel, hello Joel, again, has got a question about that. What have we said? With Kalen Ponga and Mitch Barnett back for the Knights, do you see them bouncing back against the Roosters?
I don't really care about Mitch Barnett. I'm looking at Ponga and Pearce and all the blokes that are backing up with Clemmer and Saifidi. You know, they get over that origin. They're on such a high. And they need to come back, bring that form back to club football. If they can do that and play at that level, I'm sure they can make the top 4.
Yep. And so do they beat the Roosters?
Oh. Yes, they do.
Roosters do not lose 2 in a row at this stage of the year.
They just lost 4 before that.
Yeah, no, this stage of the year.
This stage of the year.
With all the players back.
Okay.
Tedesco, Cordner.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah,
It'll be a good battle. It'll be a good battle. I just think the Knights forward pack, I think losing Hargraves is a massive deal.
Loss.
I think Clemmer and Saifidi, they can take over some games now.
All right. Well, we're going opposites for that one. Canberra are playing against the Tigers. Tigers were pretty poor last week. Finn Benji's 300th.
I know. I think they would have put more effort in, but I'm not sure. I think Canberra will win that game, especially because it's down there. It's very hard to play this time of year at Canberra. Yeah. And they don't give a shit if it's -10. They just get out there and do the business. They're very well coached.
They're all English.
They've got a tough side. There's 5 pommies in there. Their forward pack, Papali's been on fire. He's been one of the best props all year. And plus all the pommy blokes have been playing outstanding. So, yeah, I'm going to go Canberra. I think Tigers had their, they had a shot last week to get them. So, they would have been equal 8th last week if they played. And it was Benji's 300th game. I think they
disappointing for him.
It was disappointing for Benji. He deserved better.
I think they sold all the T-shirts though, so he'd be happy. The Cowboys up against the Wayne Bennetts.
That's going to be a good game. I think with the way Wayne coaches and the back end of the year, which is very important. The last 8 games is very important. Souths are coming second, and they've been going really shit for the last 6 weeks. So they're going to get players back, who have been in Origin for the last 6 weeks. They get him. He's going to he rested them at the main time. He'll be still very careful.
They reckon he's going to rest Cook and
well, they do need to rest. Cook, he's been 80 minutes every game. So Cameron Murray, all these guys, they need to be rested so they can play in semi-final football. That is the ultimate goal, to set yourselves up for that. He doesn't give a shit about it. He wants to win, jag a few of these games. Cody Walker, you got Adam Reynolds, you got Gags and
they've got a good
Sam
side,
Bird. Mate, I think South can upset Melbourne on their day.
Yeah.
And I think this is the time that you'll see the real South, because they're just been missing all the Burgess boys and half the sides being in Origin. So, yeah, I'm going to go with
the Wayne Bennetts. The Wayne Bennetts. I backed the Waynes as well there because the Cowboys were all right last week. Drinkwater makes a difference. The Titans, who as of now without a coach, are playing against a Storm. Mostly every single time that sacks a coach wins.
I'm just not. If it was any other team but the Storm, the Storm player, you don't realise their whole pack is nearly packed full of New Zealand representative players.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't really go past those blokes. They're too good a system. They don't care about people. They don't care about things like, the statistics are when a team gets sacked, the coach gets sacked. 8 times out of 10 they win. They don't give a shit. They'll go up there and smack the shit out of the Titans.
And the Titans will go back to not having a coach and not
just go
doing winning
coach.
games. Just play with no coach. Be the same. Manly against Para. Remember that ad in the 80s? Manly and Para. I think it was a Tui's new ad.
No.
All the grand finals. No, don't remember that. Too young.
Not that old.
So Manly would probably go into that game as favourites, but I
Big
don't.
game. Big
I don't know.
game.
It's a good game. I'm gonna
tip.
tip Para in that. I think Para
It's at
are
Brookvale
building.
on a Sunday arvo. They're very hard to beat.
Trebojevic back. I'm gonna tip the
Most
upset.
of Trebojevic is back.
All 16 Trebojevic playing.
They've got a young kid. They've got a young brother he's a half in between both of them. He's going to be a freak.
He's just a Treboy.
Yeah, mate, he's a fucking freak. I bet all three of them play for Australia in 2 years. It'd be unbelievable.
Heard it here first.
Mm-hmm.
That makes absolutely no difference to this game, however.
I think
there's two of them, 2 out of the 3.
Manly will beat Parramatta. It'll be probably the match of the round. That and the Roosters and Knights.
Knights and Roosters is match of the round in my eyes.
Sunday Arvo at Brookie. It'll be massive. Hopefully it's beautiful weather and they play some good football, but I think Manly can get it. Manly's going to get them.
Hopefully they get the queues going better at Manly. Last time I was there, it was very difficult to get a pie and also a beer. Made me very angry. That concludes...
Mid-strength beer as well. What the hell's going on?
You just need mid-strength. That concludes Unfiltered for another week. We will be back with you next week. Thanks again for all your support. Thanks again for all your questions, and we will see you soon.
Thank you.